Are you persistent enough? I know some of you have been doing all that is to be done in this universe to manifest that specific person, wealth, a new car, a new apartment, and everything else you have wished for. With some of your desires, the results are instantaneous, and with others, you notice only tiny movements. These tiny movements give you hope that your desired reality is coming to fruition in no time, which is fine. But sometimes we tend to go down a different road unconsciously. This is the road of wanting, the road where we complain and doubt. Then we watch some videos or read something on the internet that reminds us that we have to persist, and we start doing it and go in a totally wrong direction. What is the wrong direction I'm referring to? The wrong path or direction is the path of persisting in wanting to bring something to 3D. Read it again and again and again until you realize what is wrong with some of your desires that make tiny movements and then vanish. I would confess that I too have made this mistake multiple times. Instead of knowing about manifestation for a long time and manifesting many things consciously, we tend to make such mistakes from time to time. This is completely fine and normal. We are having a human experience, and it is all right to make mistakes, just don't be harsh on yourself. Your desires are not greater than you or your well-being. So, chill, and instead of persisting in wanting to bring something into your reality, persist in having the desire mentally without any evidence in 3D. Yes, baby, this is persisting. I would repeat it, persist in having the desire mentally without any outside evidence. In simpler terms, this is living from the end. This is the end scene. This is the state you have to be aware of when manifesting something. You always have to remind yourself that you have that desire right now. Don't tell yourself anything about how or when you got it. Just simply persist in having it. Your mind will now try to convince you that this idea is impossible. How can I think about having it when I don't have it? Well, my friend, this is manifestation. Or, in layman's terms, you have to have it mentally to get it in your physical experience. To ease your logical mind, let me give you an example. I would like to ask you, do you own any sort of vehicle, or have you owned any sort of vehicle up until now? It can also be a bicycle. Okay, the majority of you had it or have it. Now, I would like to ask you, right now, when you are sitting here and watching this video, do you need to see that vehicle physically to tell me that you possess it, or are you just telling me because you know that you have it? Are you even thinking about the registration certificate in your mind to prove to me that you own it, or are you just telling me that? Are you thinking about how you got the vehicle, or are you just thinking that, yeah, I own that white car? Are you getting what I am trying to say here? If you understand this, manifestation will become easy. Oftentimes, we forget this golden principle of manifestation. We need to remind ourselves that we have that specific person, that car, and that income. This is just thinking from the end. When you do it with every doubt you face, something happens that can't be perceived by your mortal eyes that changes the whole scenario for you, and you get that thing in your 3D experience. Neville Goddard has informed us about it through his analogy of the old man. He informs us that we have to die to our old self and become our new self before we can see any changes in our reality, or before we manifest our desire on the physical plane. You cannot stay in the mentality of wanting something. You must have it in your imagination and persist in having it to make it materialize. Just remind yourself that you have it again and again. Another example given by Neville is that of mansions. He refers to the 14th chapter of the book of John. Let not your hearts be troubled. Ye that believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. Were it not so, would I have told you that I am going to prepare a place for you? And when I go, I will come again and receive you to myself, so that where I am, there you may be also. The mansions here refer to the state of mind. All states are eternal, and they exist right now. All states exist in the human imagination. You can be in a state of wanting it and bringing into 3D, or you can be in the state of having it. The choice is yours. Before we can see it in our 3D or current physical reality, we must first become acquainted with the lifestyle, have that relationship with our specific person, and earn that income in our imagination. When we mentally know that we have that income, the 3D will shift. When we know that our SP is our partner, the 3D will shift. So stop living in the past of not having it. Stop reminding yourself over and over of what went wrong and how to get it back. Just dare to assume that you already have it or that you will have it. The how and when are not your concerns because, when you have it, the question of when and how disappears because you have it. Surrender yourself to your ideal with such awareness of its reality that you begin to live the life of the ideal, and no longer your own life as it was prior to this surrender. So, I hope this gave you the clarity you needed. Subscribe for more such videos. I will meet you with another golden nugget. Happy manifesting.